Can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is...
Bill Maher is on a tear again, tearing through woke hot takes like it's his personal side hustle. And this time, his target is none other than Whoopi Goldberg. Let's be real, she practically gift-wrapped this one for him with her ever-growing highlight reel of cringe since 2022. But Maher didn't just clap back, he obliterated her take, bulldozing her argument like a wrecking ball through a sandcastle. So what did Whoopi say this time that triggered Maher's unfiltered takedown? And how did his response leave the woke crowd absolutely reeling? Don't worry, we've got every spicy detail. Strap in, this isn't just a drag. It's a full-throttle roller coaster with no brakes. Whoopi poked the bear and now she's getting shredded by the claws of cold, brutal reality. And if you thought the View crew would just take the L and walk away quietly, think again. Remember when Maher exposed Sunny Hostin for twisting his words? Yeah, they're back for round 2. Let's get into a
zero-tolerance mindset bent on punishing and disappearing anyone caught saying the wrong thing.
Whoopi Goldberg is stepping up like never before, seemingly on a mission for revenge. It seems Sunny Hostin couldn't keep up with Bill Maher, so she called in backup, Whoopi, storming in like a contestant on a reality show, ready to take on Maher. She flipped through her woke playbook, trying to make a point, but it didn't land. The argument quickly fell apart when Whoopi brought up voting for a former prosecutor and some vague ideas about the working class. It didn't make sense. It was like she was throwing out random ideas, hoping something would stick, but Maher wasn't about to let that pass. He quickly pointed out that her logic was weak, and the discussion on The View derailed into chaos. This show has always been full of questionable takes, but the latest round of comments from Whoopi and Sunny took things to a new level. Remember when Charlemagne the God was a guest on The View? You could see the realization hit him that he had stepped into a place where logic took a backseat to theatrics. And speaking of bending the rules, let's talk about President Joe Biden, the self-proclaimed champion of no one is above the law. Well, that claim aged poorly after his son, Hunter Biden, got a pardon for corruption charges. So much for justice, right? The backlash is growing, and for good reason. How can we preach about fairness when the president's son gets away with serious offenses? If this were anyone else, they would be facing serious consequences. But because Hunter is a Biden, it's a different story. The media also jumped in to downplay the whole situation, spinning it as Russian disinformation. Whoopi Goldberg, of course, sided with this narrative on The View, ignoring the evidence. Bill Maher didn't hold back, tearing apart the excuses and showing the hypocrisy in full view. Whoopi and her crew, in their woke bubble, act as if only their opinions matter. They dismiss anyone who disagrees with them as irrelevant. But Maher wasn't having it. He exposed their hypocrisy and called out the double standards that dominate The View and the woke crowd. They only call out wrongdoing when it's someone from the other side. But when it's one of their own, they make excuses. And that's where Bill Maher stepped in with the truth. The woke crowd is more about pushing their agenda than actually upholding justice. Maher reminded everyone that not everyone who voted for Trump did so because they loved his style. A lot of people voted for him because they were tired of the left's increasingly extreme agenda. In the end, Maher's sharp take on the situation left Whoopi and her crew exposed. He made it clear that the woke mob is stuck in their echo chamber, only listening to themselves and shutting out anyone who disagrees. It was a hard-hitting reminder that sometimes the truth isn't what's popular, but what's right. If you like this breakdown, be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more on the latest drama.